Yo, what's happening, Trojan family? How we doing tonight? Wednesday night Conquest Call-In Show. As you all can see, writing solo dolo tonight. Tim had a family thing come up, so unfortunately he can't make it, and Jamal is busy doing something as well. So I was like, you know what? We could scrap it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm available. Had it on the calendar, had it on the books. Love to just get on here and go live and talk with all of you beautiful Trojan fans and families. So we won't be able to do the true call-in through the phone line. However, if anyone's interested, I'll drop the link. You can jump on here with me and give any thoughts as we kind of go through some topics. I got a lot to get into, and we'll see how quickly or how long the show takes. But if anyone wants to jump in, I mean, if you want to even comment and say, "Hey, I'd love to jump on," but I'll drop the link a few times. You won't be on camera; it's just audio. And you can still basically call in essentially just through the link, not through the actual phone line. So, but yeah, hope everyone is doing well. A couple topics I want to go over tonight. Jayden Maiava, is he a true Heisman candidate? I think through 4 games, he absolutely is. But let's talk about that. 2, some injury updates provided by Lincoln Riley, or, vaguely provided by Lincoln Riley after practice today, on Alex Graham, on Prophet Brown, on we're not really on Jakeem Stewart, but he was there. So we'll discuss that a little bit, and then provide a couple of recruiting updates. Obviously, a massive visitor weekend or visitor game day experience on Saturday against Michigan State. 40 plus recruits there. So just a couple notes from stuff I've heard, but also some of our other great reporters on the USC beat that have, talked on the recruiting trail. So, yeah. So, I mean, let's get into it. First, really quick, want to give a big shout out over to our friends over at Sleeper. For those who don't know, Sleeper's #1 sports app right now in the United States. You can download it on the Google Play or the App Store. When you go to make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code USC LAFB. And some of you may ask, well, why would I make a deposit for a fantasy football app? Well, I'm glad you asked. They have a daily pick 'em. You can pick 2 to 8 players. All you do is choose more or less, whether it's passing yards, touchdowns, receiving yards. You can do it for USC. You can do it for NFL, whatever you want to do, and you can win real money. So use that promo code USC LAFB. You're going to get a match deposit bonus up to $100. You can just start with $10 if you want. They'll match you $10, but you can go up to $100 and they'll match you $100. So Sleeper, download the app, USC LAFB. Tell them the LAFB network sent you. All right, let's talk little Jayden Maiava. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you in here. Why are you trying to make me a gambling degenerate? I'm not. Put that first deposit in, and then that's it. You can be done. Or hopefully you win, cash out some money, and that's all you got to do. No more than that. But I hear you. Good to hear you. Good to see everyone that's kind of jumping in here. I know we'll get more people joining as the day goes on. So, or the stream goes on. So sorry again. You got to put up with me by myself, but let's have some fun in here on a Wednesday night. So talking Jayden Maiava, I wrote an article earlier today about this specific situation and where he compares to Caleb Williams on his Heisman season through 4 games. Shout out Ethan Inman, who I believe is a writer for The Heavy and also might do, I think, the voice of college football USC as well. So shout out him, who kind of put some stats out on Twitter that we were all able to see. But through 4 games, that's a long season, but through 4 games, Caleb Williams, 1,054 yards. Jayden Maiava, 1,223 yards. Caleb Williams, 9 passing touchdowns. Jayden Maiava, 9 passing touchdowns. Caleb Williams, 2 rushing touchdowns. Jayden Maiava, 4 rushing touchdowns. Neither QB has threw an interception through 4 games. So on this trajectory through the end of the season, so a 12-game season, Jayden Maiava is on pace to throw for 3,669 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 12 rushing touchdowns. If you look at Caleb Williams' final stat line, which I did not include the bowl game because the Heisman is awarded before the bowl game, but I did include the Pac-12 championship game against Utah. He finished with 4,075 yards, 37 passing touchdowns, so 10 more than Maiava's projection, 4 picks, and 10 rushing touchdowns. So Maiava's projection, you figure if USC is able to make the Big Ten championship, so get that extra game, he's going to be right around that passing yard total. Touchdowns, right around touchdowns, and potentially more rushing touchdowns. It's all projection, right? It's been 4 games. But certainly through those 4 games, to me, he should be like the top candidate. And when you look nationally, it's laughable might be a strong word, but it's interesting how he's just now on this week 4 made like top 10 lists. When you look at like On3, when you look at all the different podcasts out there, ESPN, whatever, whoever's making these like Heisman rankings, even betting odds are kind of slow to stock him up. Like hopefully you put some money on Jayden Maiava to win the Heisman potentially, but just now getting in there and you look at the guys ahead of him, and I think it's a lot of just preseason bias, right? A lot of these guys had a lot of preseason hype. Jayden Maiava didn't, so it's taking longer for his hype to reach or to elevate to where his peers are. When you look at John Mateer, who unfortunately Mateer will probably be out of it if he misses 3 to 4 weeks, having, I believe, thumb surgery. So this is why I say, guys, like, while the AP poll may not have huge distinctions on the college football playoff committee, like preseason nostalgia, whatever you want to call it, preseason rankings, like they do have an effect just naturally on the human mind, right? Like we see that, like USC finally cracked in the AP. Do we really think that they're, again, this is all based on who they've played, which is not a fantastic schedule, and that's gonna take care of itself. But it's similar with this Heisman voting with Maiava, like because he was basically the 7th ranked quarterback in the Big Ten in the preseason, a lot of people are slow to come around of like, holy cow, this guy's literally leading the nation in almost every statistical category. So it'll take care of itself as long as USC keeps winning, as long as he keeps putting up numbers. I mean, if he puts up those numbers, he'll be invited to New York on the Heisman ceremony. Like there's no question. So it's not like right now these rankings or anything will affect it. It just shows though that in the human mind, it has an effect. So, but beat Notre Dame, beat Oregon. I've seen people in the chat say that like it'll be all fine, but what an impressive start to the season he has had. And the other side of this coin, and I'll get to some comments in here. And again, if anyone wants to jump in here and chat with me, let me just do this now in case. Let's if anyone wants to comment on Jayden Maiava, here's the link. Jump on and enjoy me. Again, you won't have to be on camera, so won't worry about that, just audio. But the other side of this is, with Lincoln Riley as a offensive mind, as a quarterback developer, last year got a lot of heat and deservedly so. I mean, last year did not go well from a team perspective, and it did not go well from the quarterback perspective. But it's crazy in sports in general, and we're all guilty of this. It's always what have you done for me lately? Like Lincoln Riley has 5 starting quarterbacks in the NFL right now. He's coaching his 8th season as a head coach. And he has 5 quarterbacks starting in the NFL, a 5th of the league, if my math is correct. And one down year, and everyone was like, maybe he doesn't got it. Maybe it was a mirage. Maybe people have caught up to him. And it's like, man, one down year, and even the down year was still like, in terms of statistical categories on the quarterback, was still like not a terrible year. And all of a sudden, the guy can't coach quarterbacks anymore. The guy can't call offensive plays. Now, we should all be critical. He's a big boy making a big paycheck at a big-time blue blood school. So we can absolutely be critical, but it was just kind of funny how a lot of the narratives were, maybe he wasn't all that good. Again, it's been 4 weeks, but I think we can all see with our eyes, I think he's still got it when it comes to developing quarterbacks. And, I would love to have like an off the record sit down with him because, Lincoln Riley, I think he's always good with the media, but he always gives you the very like PC answer, like not really going to dive into much, divulge much, just very vanilla. But I love to really talk like football. Like, what is your secret sauce in developing these guys? Is it the way you're able to storytell and simplify defensive X's and O's? Because like with Maiava specifically, we knew in those 4 games he started last year, the talent. Like we knew we could see the arm talent. I'm telling you, like watching all of Lincoln's Coach Riley's quarterbacks, when you look at Baker, Kyler, Jalen Hurts, Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams, like all those guys talented starting in the NFL, none of them, in my opinion, have the pure arm talent of Jayden Maiava. You watch him throw the ball, it is like the most pure, silky smooth. I mean, it looks like he's like lounging at the beach, just like throwing a tennis ball to his buddy, right? It's just like silky smooth, and all of a sudden, boom, 65 yards on a rope to Mekhi Lemon for a touchdown. The problem we all knew was like, okay, the decision making, could he read a defense fully? Yada, 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 which is every quarterback's big next step. There's a lot of talented guys athletically. What can they do between the ears then to elevate their game and in turn elevate their team's game? Now, again, I say this every time when I do recording. I say when I'm with Tim and Jamal, like, we're not putting the cart in front of the horse. It's been 4 games with not the greatest competition. So let's see it when we go up against Michigan's defensive line, when you go up against Notre Dame's defensive line, Oregon's defensive lines, obviously. But all we have is what we have. And so we have the resume of what this season is. And the jump he has made from last year to this year is staggering. The arm talent's the same, but the calmness, the readiness, the leadership, the poise, the moxie, the gravitas, whatever adjective you want to use, like the dude has developed at a rock star pace in terms of being now in the system for 1 full year after transferring for UNLV and taking full advantage of it and just looking poised. So I'd love to talk to Lincoln Riley about what's that secret sauce you develop these guys. Like, is it just your offensive system and this guy will fit with it? That's obviously, I think, part of it. But there's obviously a way that he's able to teach reading defenses and the X's and O's of it. Because there's some way as a coach that you're able to help slow the game down for your quarterback. Part of that also is obviously on Jayden Maiava and his study habits and his practice habits and what he's done in the offseason. So huge hats off to him, to what he's put in to get to where he is now, as in my opinion, through 4 weeks, a viable Heisman candidate. If he finishes the year strong and USC wins 9+ games, he'll be one of the finalists, in my opinion. So we'll see. Keep your receipts. We'll see how that looks. But I just think it's impressive. Last thing, and then we'll move on to the next topic. But, hats off, obviously, to the offensive line. I mean, that's a huge part of it, right? We saw Caleb Williams go from Heisman winner, Superman, to still very good quarterback, but maybe some questions. And that was primarily due to a degrading offensive line play, right? Or a worse offensive line play, or better defensive line, whatever you want to attribute it to. Caleb Williams, I think, was still very good that final year. Yes, the season didn't go. Caleb Williams did a lot of that. Season would have been worse without Caleb Williams, but he obviously took a step back from his Heisman season. So let's not just glaze over the fact right now that give all the credit in the world to Maiava and Lincoln Riley, but this offensive line is playing their tails off right now. Inferior competition, but they're dominating. I think they've been one of the top units in different metrics in the Big Ten. And you think about last game, and Michigan State, like, I'm not saying they're going to be like a world beater team, but it's not like they're some bum program. Jonathan Smith was one of the hot rising names in college football when he was at Oregon State. Ended up, after the whole Mel Tucker debacle, then they go and snatch him away from Oregon State. Michigan State has a long history of great seasons under, Mark D'Antoni when he was there. Mark D'Antonio. So they're not just some like bum program. USC should have beat them and should have beat them handily based on talent depth and based on just where USC's program is headed. But they're not some scrubs. And the USC offensive line, I thought, was pretty dominant. Being at the game, being able to watch it from the bird's eye view. And then you couple that with Elijah Page, your star left tackle, who could be a day 1 or 2 draft pick, goes down. You don't just bring someone in to take him. You move your right tackle, Justin Tanow, over to left tackle. You move your left guard, Tobias Raymond, over to right tackle. And then you bring in Micah Benuelos to play your left guard position. I mean, that is a massive shuffle, and they didn't miss a beat. So that shows coaching, Zach Hansen. That shows talent level of these dudes up front. Did not get, I think, the respect they deserve throughout the offseason. And that shows kind of unity and versatility that they have. And obviously that is then translating to Jayden Maiava having the season he's having so far. So let me know your guys' thoughts on that. I think it's an exciting time to see what's kind of happening with this offense. Obviously, defensively, we talked about it last show. Madman and I are going to do kind of a Illinois preview, I believe, tomorrow. So I'm sure we'll talk more on the defense. I won't touch too much here on that. But let's see any of these comments here. Let's go fight on. Trojan fight. What's up, guys? Fight on. What's happening? Let's see what else we got here. A lot of comments from Jeff. Love it. I have 3 kids going nuts around me. All right, hop on. I get that. My wife's dealing with my daughter on the other side of this door. I can hear them, so I feel you. I got number 2 on the way. So the Dyrud house is about to get a little more of a madhouse. Let's see here. Jim May, or Moy, if I pronounced that incorrectly. Lincoln got out of his own head and got into his play calling bag for now. This is, I don't disagree with you at all, Joe. I think there were times last year where I think, Coach Riley was maybe overthinking things. I think at times it was personnel, honestly, related in terms of, now he had the talent at receiver. I think the running back room was obviously Woody Marks was fantastic. The offensive line, I think there wasn't maybe a ton of confidence in certain situations. But I agree. I think some of it is just on him, right? Just maybe got in his own head, got in his own way in certain situations. But a lot of it, too, sometimes was execution. Like you think of that Penn State game, right? And I'm not going to be one to throw shade at Miller Moss, but I mean, pretty easy wide open throw. Deuce Robinson there. USC wins the game. They're beating the number 4 team, and that season could have been very different. You stack a win against Penn State. That's execution, right? I think the play call was great. Deuce is right open. But I agree with you, Jim. There's definitely times when, it just seemed like whether it was overthinking, whether it was whatever it may be, there were absolutely issues last year in certain play calling situations. So far this year, I mean, the dude's been in his bag. I think he's been lights out in play calling. Like, think about offensive. What do we have? 3 punts? And one of them was in garbage time against Michigan State. And I think probably the other 2 were when the backups were in. Defense got to clean things up, but that offense is dynamite right now. And I cannot wait to watch them against Illinois on Saturday. Brian, what's up, brother? Fight on. Let's see here. Who else fight on? Chris, what's up? Oh, Jeff, there you go. Nursing some bourbon. I'm a simple man. Little Jim Beam here. Little Jim Beam. Simple man. If you've ever had, if anyone is a bourbon drinker, and you've ever had or heard of Noah's Mill, it's my favorite bourbon. It's $50. It's a little pricier than Jim Beam if I'm feeling frosty. Get out there. But Noah's Mill, fantastic. All right, let's see this here from Brian. Do you expect Riley to keep the ground game, especially since Illinois gave up 300 yards to Indiana? Illinois is going to load the box. Great question. I believe he will. Last week, when we previewed the Michigan State game, Michigan State's weakness was against the pass, at least leading up to that game. What we saw with them against Youngstown State and some of their other opponents, like they gave up some yards through the air. So we were like, great. Jayden Maiava eat. And even with that, like the running game still ate with USC. So I think that's a nice change of kind of how things have gone in the first kind of 2-3 years of the Lincoln Riley era. So I fully believe him to commit to the run. It seems like we're at a spot where 25 plus carries should be the norm. Obviously, some of those will be Maiava. Some of those will be some jet sweeps, just the way they run the offense. I also, and I've said this before, I know people probably don't agree with me, but those short passes, so screen passes to your running backs, the nice fourth down conversion to Mekhi Lemon that was essentially a jet sweep, but ended up being a behind the scrimmage pass. And then the unstoppable play right now with Walker Lyons where he goes in motion and then just sprints out to the flat and you get it's basically a dump off. People don't like to hear us, but those are running plays, or at least I consider them, and I think Coach Riley considered them. So on the stat sheet, they're passes, but those are considered automatic, not automatic first downs necessarily, but it's like a run where it's such a easy pass that you're expecting to gain yardage on that. So if you include those in the actual runs of the running backs, like 30 plus plays like that a game, easy, they've done so far, and I think that'll continue to do so. So especially, Brian, to your point against Illinois, that just, I don't know what to take from that game. This is a hard game to preview because I think they were overrated. I don't think they were worthy of what they were 9 going into that game. I think they were overrated, but I don't think they were as bad as what they ended up losing. Someone correct 63 they gave up or something like that. Like I don't think it was that level. I think it was just IU had their number. IU's a better football team. IU was the home team. Home team means a lot in college football. So I don't know, but yeah, I think Brian, we'll commit to the run and stick with it. Got someone in here in the stage. Christian, what's up, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How we doing?
All right, man. I seen one nobody join you. I was like, man, let me just hop in for a minute.
It's always, it's all, I get it. It's different with the link and everything, and sometimes you have to copy and paste. So not everyone wants to, but hey, thanks for joining on. How you doing? How's this Wednesday night treating you?
Man, doing good. Ready for Saturday, man. I guess one quick thing we can have a meeting of the minds about talk about. Um, I have a me and B Jinx, the guy that's in the chat. We have a show right for the non victory that we do, and one thing we were discussing was the defensive back play.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole thing was that first off, ever since last year, as USC fans, we heard complaints about why are the defensive backs playing off, or the defensive backs playing off. Saturday, they wasn't playing off. They were playing up, press, coverage, and you see what happened, right? As a defensive coach, you're not going to play a lot of man and press if you don't have those guys who can play that, because what happened against Michigan State will happen, right? So you go with the motto, you play off, keep everything in front of you, make the team drive down there so you don't get beat on the deep play. But with that, my suggestion is just line up and play football.
Mm-hmm.
Stop the exotic stuff, stop the pre-snap and changing of the coverage on the snap. Because if the guys are continually having busting coverage, and when you see wide cornerbacks and DBs with their hand raised, like who was supposed to have him?
Yeah.
That means they're confused, right? So at some point, simplify the defense and say my athletes are better than yours, and we just gonna line up and play a coverage, right? We're not gonna do all the changing the coverage at the snap, trying to run people all the way down from the nickel back to the deep third, right? Like just at this point, it's game 5, and we're still having busting coverage. I say simplify it for them. Think about it. They wasn't really picking on Nicholson. They were picking on our young guys over
Mm-hmm.
there, right? That's you know what I'm saying. And a lot of the stuff is not lack of talent, it's a lack of confusion, right? And safety and corners not knowing somebody going motion. Okay, well now we got to invert this, and it's all type of rules when you playing this exotic defenses and hiding your coverage. And if everybody's not on the same page, you're gonna have those busts. So I say simplify the defense, line up and play football. We're a man, we're in cover 2, we're in cover 3, we're in an inverted 4, whatever it is. That way people know what coverage they're in and they can focus on their coverage. Because at some point, like we can't continue to have bust and miscommunication because defenders don't know what coverage they're
Yeah. 100%. Did you say, Christian, are you a coach?
No.
Okay.
I'm just a former college football player. I just love football, man. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And you see, and I think, and I'm not saying this makes it right or correct. I said this on my last show, but I think what a lot of people have forgotten is the hope was with this defensive secondary is you have, Prophet Brown, who's a vet, who is going to be your nickel guy. Obviously, he's still out. Chasen Johnson, who was the big time transfer, experience starting an entire freshman year. He's played a half, and now he's out the rest of the year. And then even some of the young guys who they thought of could be good are out as well. So in reality, outside of DeCarlos Nicholson, you got two redshirt freshmen, right? In Marcellus Williams and Braylon Conley. And so I agree with you. Like, simplify things. There's going to be growing pains when you have that kind of youth in the back end. And so if you want to be exotic with that front seven, because that's where your boys are going to eat, but let that back end just, keep it simple and keep everything in front of them. So I totally agree with you, Christian.
Yeah, just line up and play coverage. Take the thinking out of it, right? We're in the cover two. We're in the man. We're in the one or one under, and that way they can just focus on what the coverage is and play that coverage. But we definitely can't have those bust Saturdays. I know Illinois was beat bad. They're a lot better than what they played.
Yep.
Indiana's still the better team, but they were a lot better than what they played. It was like an avalanche of things, right? Starting off with a punt block and things of that nature. And so they are going to be. And to me, the whole key to this game is going to be, can our defense get off the field? Because
Yep.
if we can go out and we start fast and we go up 2 scores and we take away their desire and patience to run the ball to try to get back in the game and they go passing, that's when because of the offensive line so bad, that's when the defenders can eat. But long as we stay in a one possession game and we allow the run game for them to still be as an option, the tighter and tighter this game is going to be. So the biggest thing I'm looking for early is, can our defense get out the field? One thing about our defense that we have not seen this year, right? Change from last year. The one thing is we don't get 3 and out, right? We have one against Michigan State, none against Purdue, none. That's elite defense can get 3 and outs, get your team the ball back. And so that is something I'm going to be watching. Like, even though they might not score, we tend to give up these long 8 and 9 play drives that end in a field goal or they get off the field on 4th down. But they still have take the clock and our dynamic offense is still over there. And when the game gets shortened, it puts a lot of pressure on your offense to have to score every time they got the ball, right? And not make a mistake because they're having limited possession. And so it's going to be interesting to see, can we get off the field?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that's like one of the frustrating things, right? Is like, we just get a 3 and out, like a dominant 3 and out one time and not give up these long sustained drives or these third down conversions. I mean, I don't know what the conversion rate is this season. I haven't looked at it, but it's got to be high on those third down conversions
Right.
and whatnot. So, yeah, love to see this improvement and love to see the secondary improve. And, Dan Lim talked to the media today after practice, and obviously, any coach is going to say this. It's unacceptable, these blown plays and these blown coverages, but until we see it fixed, this is going to be the conversation every single week. So I will say, I don't know if you noticed this, Christian, but it did look like after that first drive, they did simplify things on the secondary, and outside of that garbage time touch or long pass that DJ Harvey was on, and the secondary did perform a lot better. I don't know what you think of that, but after that first drive, the secondary seemed quite a bit more locked in. Did you notice that?
Yep. Played better, and the genesis of that game making USC fans cringe was the special team blunder, right? Punt team. I mean, we're up 21. Why are you going after the punter anyway? At that point, like
Yeah.
why are you even trying to go block a point at that point? Right, when you're up 21 points, like, wasn't needed. But as far as what we started to see, is that he went away from what everybody wanted to. So that was part of the change, right? At first, it's like he was trying to prove, all right, let's man up, let's take away that slant because everyone's complaining about us not playing tighter coverage. as you can see, he started to move those defenders back and allow a pass rush to get there, and the pass rush took over and forced Aiden Child to get off his spot or to run around.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see what Luke Altmaier had. He's not quite as mobile as Childs, but he's no statue or anything. So we'll see.
Definitely
Christian,
not the
great to hear
statue.
from you, bro. Anything else you want to add or question or anything?
Now, man, I'll have to try to get with you, man, so you can come on my show one, me and B Jenks show or our podcast one day, man, to share your knowledge.
Hey, I'd be honored. So let me know. Hit me up wherever. Hit me up on Twitter, whatever. I'd love to come on. I appreciate that.
All right.
So, but you, thanks for calling in. Really appreciate it. Great to hear from you, and enjoy your night and fight on. All right.
All right. You too, man.
All right, bro. Talk to you soon. All right. Love that. Anyone else that wants to jump in here? That's great. Thanks to, and yeah, I'd love to jump on their show. Honored to. All of us in the USC sports community love, if we can all build each other up and whatnot. So I see it a lot here in the chat. Love it. Talking about the secondary. So quickly, let me just say this on injuries, and then I'll get to some of these. No, I don't think there's really questions for me, but at least comments that I can respond to. But so injury-wise, Prophet Brown sounding like, if I'm betting, I'm not sure he plays this season. The way Lincoln really worded it was he's progressing, but we're considering looking at the medical red shirt. Like anytime that's in your thought process, he's probably not coming back. Now, obviously, if USC is sitting at 8-0, 9-0, and he then is good, then they might be like, hey, if this guy gives us a shot to really chase a natty or chase a college football playoff, then you burn that medical red shirt and bring him back. But if that's in the thought process, it's not likely Brown will be back. I would love to be wrong, obviously. I'm just basing it off of reading between the lines of that kind of comment. So we'll see that. Alex Graham sounds like he is trending to be back after the bye. So Riley said he's progressing quicker than they expected, which obviously he got injured in camp. Like, he didn't divulge at all what the injury was. We had no idea. So at first it was like, oh, is he just going to miss the first game and be back? Clearly it was a pretty serious injury. We don't know what it was, but he was in pads in practice today. So that is a fantastic sign. It's one of those situations where, like, hey, if this was a playoff game, he might play this week, but because they have a bye next week, you hold him out this game, hold him out the bye, get him back for Michigan. So that's my guess on Graham. Other injury updates, Elijah Page, no real updates. My guess is he's not going to go, if I'm just guessing. Again, same situation because of the bye, hold him out one more week, get him fully healthy, ready to rock there. Jacoby Lane, he's practicing in pads, so I think he's trending more likely to play. Again, though, because of the depth of the position, they might be better off holding him, getting fully healthy. From what I've heard, it's like a shoulder thing. So we'll see. But it's hard. We don't get any real updates, so it's just kind of who you see at practice and then reading between the lines. And then who was the last one? Jakeem Stewart. He practiced today. He should be good to go. I think there were like rumors and whatever of him being in a boot yesterday, but he seems to all be good to go. And I believe he even spoke to the media today. So, I'm always blown away by Jakeem. Just aside from his size, talent, speed, awareness, but just his actual like intelligence, and for being a 17-year-old, dude was like made to be a star college football player at an early age and going to be an NFL player. Okay, let's quickly, I'll look at some of these and then wrap up with some recruiting updates. Any questions y'all got? Let me see. Oh, there we go. I'm going way back. So Jacoby Lane back for Illinois. Like I just said, I would say potentially I think he will travel, but it'll be a game time decision. Let's see here. Reading through a lot of great secondary talk. Okay, here's an interesting one. Keeping it real, crypto. Called in weeks ago. Maybe I was off that day. I don't remember taking a call. So thanks for jumping on. Obviously, Tim and Madman probably. But I called in weeks ago and said Christian Pierce should be playing nickel and Ramsey should be playing safety. When you played sports, you can tell what's what. So I don't disagree with anyone in here that Ramsey is obviously best suited as safety. I think he's the best safety, and you could potentially college football. Like, as a true safety, he's probably the number one safety off the board potentially. I don't think nickel, though, is one of those you just slide in anyone. Not saying Christian Pierce couldn't play, but in situations like that, I would defer to this. I don't think the staff is like dumb and just thinks like, oh, Pierce can play nickel, but no, we don't want him to. We'll have Ramsey play. Like, I think if Pierce could play nickel, he would be playing nickel because Ramsey is a better safety. I don't think anyone would argue that, right? Nickel is a tough spot to play. Not all corners can play nickel. When you're an outside guy going to that inside and you're playing against these shifty slot receivers, like it's a different position, right? It's like going from tackle to guard on the offensive line. Some guys can do it. Tobias Raymond, point in case, not everyone can, or not everyone can at least on a week-to-week basis. So I don't know. Maybe Pierce could. This is just my, I'm talking just opinion. This is not based on watching guys do it or talking to any of the coaching staff. But if Pierce could do it, I have no reason to believe that the staff wouldn't have him there and put Ramsey where he's best. I've said on other shows, the reason why I believe Ramsey, they've moved to nickel is because A, he's your best defensive secondary player, so you're going to have him on the field regardless. And the next best player that can play nickel is a much bigger downgrade than what Pierce brings at safety, if that makes sense. So having the pairing of Bishop and Pierce is less of a downgrade than having, say, Kevin Longstreet be your nickel versus Ramsey. So until a guy like Brown or Graham is back, this may be what this defense looks like. Now, maybe they're testing out Pierce, because I think I think Pierce has played well. So I think he's a guy you want on the field if possible. So do you try switching it? I just don't think nickel's not just, you just throw a guy out there and tell him to cover a little portion of the field, in my opinion. I could be wrong. That's my thoughts on that. So we'll see. And in some of the young guys, Tristan Castro, RJ Sermon's been banged up also. Love to see him eventually out there, but we'll see how that goes. But hey, we got another voice in here. Slop Happy, what's up? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How we doing?
Good. Yeah,
Good,
I'm hearing double. I don't know why.
Hearing double. Still the big echo?
Yeah, no, it's a secondary voice from you. I'm not very good at this IT stuff. I apologize.
No. Sorry. Maybe just because if you're watching the show and in the show now, maybe that's why. So I don't know if you can close your original YouTube screen.
Let's see. I'll stop you. Hold on.
Okay. That probably would be why.
Give me one second. I apologize.
No.
I'm a moron with this stuff.
No worries at all.
Crap. How do I stop this? I don't know how to stop it.
Or just close it out maybe from whatever I don't know if you're in another browser, or if it's the YouTube app or.
Let's see what happens. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Okay. You're good. I'll look through some more of these comments while you're doing that. Okay. So we'll see. I think Slap will be back in here in a minute, I'm sure. Yeah, so LV Live, what's up, brother? Always appreciate you. Ryan, I mentioned that to Madman to have Ramsey go to safety and have a CB play nickel. Again, I completely agree. If it's not a massive downgrade. I just, maybe I'm naive or the opposite of naive. Maybe I'm too overbearing. I just don't think it's as simple as that. Because like on paper, right, when you look at this secondary, DeCarlos Nicholson, Marcellus Williams, Braylon, like Conley, if those are going to be your three, like why not just have Marcellus Williams play nickel? But I just think certain guys are suited for like outside corner, and it's a big shift moving to that inside. Ramsey's just that good of a player. He obviously hasn't played nickel. I mean, think of Jalen Smith. Dude, they've moved all over in his USC career, right? He played nickel, played safety, played outside his last year. Not all guys can do that. Now, maybe some can, and we just don't know. So to your point, LV, like maybe Marcellus could play in the inside, or maybe Braylon Conley can play in the inside, or what have you. But me sitting here knowing what I know, like it's hard for me to think, and I know everyone's down on the secondary coaching right now, but it's hard for me to think that like Doug Belk and Trevon Reed wouldn't try that. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but I can't see them being like, no. We don't want to try those guys at nickel. I feel like they probably have tried it and it hasn't worked. Let's try this again. Slap Happy. What's up, bro? How's it sounding now? Still an echo?
I'm still hearing two different voices. I apologize.
All good. Maybe see if you can deal with it, and you can just say whatever you want to say, and I'll just not talk so you're not hearing double.
Well, I'm hearing another person talking. So I'm not sure. It's not you.
So you have like another another video going on or something.
Let me hold it. You know what? How about now? Is that better?
I can hear you fine. Yeah. So as long as you're not getting that other voice.
Oh shit! I apologize, guys. I suck at this shit.
All good. All good. Well, if you have anything in your mind, you can go for it.
Well, no, I guess my point is my expectations for the last 4 years have been amazing, and I don't know. Let me try. Shit. I'm sorry, sir. I apologize.
You're good. Not a big deal. Try maybe close everything and try jumping back in on it.
I'm trying to shut it down now. Hold on.
Okay.
How about now?
Yep, I can hear you fine.
Yay, team! We win.
All right. Love it. All right. What's on your mind then? Oh, you still there now?
Yeah, I still hear an echo from me from like 30 seconds ago.
Are you on headphones?
No.
At this point, we'll work through this together. You know, we're in it.
I'm just. All right. So, anyways, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. So I think it's just you're going to get feedback, but you sound fine on our end.
I'm still hearing a feedback now, but
as long as you can talk through it, you're good over here. There's no feedback on us. So,
all right. So, anyways, I expected so much this year.
Yep.
Oh, this is no, not at all. Because I suck at this IT stuff.
All good. Maybe try jumping off again, close everything out, and then just.
All right, you know what? Let me call you back in 2 minutes. I'm going to shut the whole computer down and call you back.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
I'll be here. So, all right. Let's see some of these other. All right, we got a new caller. Paulie, what's going on? What's happening?
Hey, how you doing? 1 second, I forgot to turn off. Hold on 1 second.
All good.
Are you still there, Ryan? Sorry
yes,
about
sir.
That. I had to turn off the TV. I was expecting to see Tim and everybody. I didn't know what happened. And I saw you riding solo, and I said, let me show Ryan some love, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, Tim had both Tim and Madden had something literally last 15 minutes before the show come up. So I was like, you know what? I'm still going to jump on here solo dolo and talk to good people.
I saw you, and I'm like, I mean, look at this guy. What a trooper, man. He's just holding the, just handling it. I mean, just taking charge and taking calls, and I love it. So I just thought, let me give him a call to just chime in a little bit. But Ryan, the one thing is, I got to tell you, I'm really proud of the way the guys have been playing. I think they've exceeded expectations. They've done so many things that I just compared to last year, it's like, I mean, my gosh, I mean, if the season ended today, I would be the happiest guy ever, just because, I don't want to say we're relevant again, but yet we're on the right track, and that's all we've ever wanted. Lincoln had this vision, and Jen, I mean, kudos to Jen. I mean, Jen does not get the credit that she deserves. I want to see her running out of that tunnel one of these days, just because she is just the way she's put this thing together, and Lincoln as well, keeping his word and promising us that he was going to put together the best defensive staff in college football and sticking with that. And the secondary, obviously we're taking a tough time, but the way I see it is, this is what we have right now. This is what we're dealing with.
Yep.
And you cannot tell me that there is not one guy in that defensive backs room that, I mean, these are 4-star, 5-star guys. Has to be one guy in that room that is ready to step up and take that position and say, you know what, I'm going to be that guy and I'm going to do it. Maybe they just need a little bit more game experience, whatever the case is. But I just think that there's going to be that one guy that eventually during the season, in the middle of the season sometime, we're going to see that guy stand up and really take control of that side of the ball. Obviously, with Nicholson, we know, he's given us his all. We know he's limited in certain areas, but he's not your typical number one shutdown corner. But the guy is serviceable. He's playing light. I mean, he's given his all, and that's all we can ask for as Trojan fans, is that the teams out there really just going above and beyond. There's no one moping around on the sidelines. It's infectious. This new culture change that's been happening. It's like this cultural movement that's happening. It's so exciting to me, and to see these guys, on the sidelines jumping around, and coaches out there coaching and doing their thing. I mean, Lincoln made a comment the other day. I was watching some interview, and he said something like, the guy said, "Well, off to Illinois, coach," and he goes, "Yeah, we're ready." But he had this determination just by him saying, "We're ready." And that look in his eye, I got the chills, and I thought, my God, these guys, they believe they're. I mean, it's like I said, it's just this thing that's going on. I can't explain it, and the coach is showing it, and it's rubbing off on the players, and like I said, it's infectious, and it's good to see. So I'm going to roll with it, whether we win by 3 points, whether we win by 3 touchdowns. I'm just proud of where we're at, and to think that the next class that's coming in is full of these alpha motivated type players that are ready to come and make an impact day one. I've said this before, Ryan. College basketball was the first to kind of evolve with the freshmen playing. Before, all freshmen would always just sit. And then finally, towards about the 90s, when the Fab Five and them started coming in, that's when freshmen started playing from day one. And football started to evolve in that way as well, where you're seeing guys, if they're ready, they're ready. And I'm starting to notice, I mean, just by the training and all of it, you look at Mark Bowman, he looks like a legit NFL guy already by the way his body is and stuff. But he's so we're on the right track. This thing goes in levels. We're on that second level, I guess you'd say, and we're on the right track. I see us maybe in the next couple of years becoming that dominant force that we all want us to be. But right now, I'm just happy with whatever the team can give us. As long as it's 100%, that's all I can ask for, Ryan.
100%. No, Paul, I totally agree. And I think what as Trojan fans are always expecting elite dominance, right? Like always. Yes. But based on the way the previous, just last year specifically has gone, like all offseason, the talk was, okay, if we can get to 9, maybe 10 wins, show improvement, and then build up for this 26 class, like you're saying. And they've done that in spades so far through 4 games. I think probably the biggest thing is, as you mentioned, the culture change. And I talked about this the last video I did a couple days ago was after Michigan State scored those 14 points and, the defense had the penalties, the offense had the turnover, like that next drive, the USC and Jayden Maiava, that what was it, 13 plays, 7-minute and 20-second drive, score a touchdown. Then the very next possession, the defense gets a 3-and-out. They're 1 3-and-out of the game. And then the very next possession, the offense scores again. That was a culture shift. That was like, okay, this team may not be natty title ready, but this team's growth and maturation from last year to now is like astounding, and the sky's the limit as they keep getting more talent here. So I totally agree with you, Paulie. I think it's great to see.
That was that's it. You hit it right on the head. When I was Preston and I were talking about this on the show, where when I saw the difference, and I said, okay, wow, this is a different team. Was when Jayden last year would have been a chaotic guy. The whole scenario would have just been this chaos, and Jayden and he puts the team on his shoulders, ends up marching down the field and runs one in, and it's like almost as guys, I got you, I'm going to put you guys on my shoulders when I need to, and show you that I'm the leader, and I'm not going to let us down. And so they have this confidence in their quarterback, and I see him. I mean, the way he conducts himself now, I'm extremely proud of him. I've always been a firm believer in him since day one. I mean, it's just, the guy, his story is, he's one of those like special guys out there that has that story. He goes from tossing, like I said, beer cans to his uncle on the beach, and training on the beach, and never going to the Jordan Palmer quarterback camp, but yet he's out here doing, he gets a full year under Riley, and just to see the way he's developed it's just been something else. But the running game as well, I almost feel like Sanders is almost, I like him setting the tone for the game. It gets the crowd going immediately. That first carry, he's already running for another first down practically. He gets the crowd going, and he's like, it's just excitement, and it throws off the other team, and then Waymo comes in, kind of wears them down, and it's just a beautiful 1-2 punch. And let's not even get started on the receivers, but right now we got a good thing going. Honestly, Illinois, the way I see it is if we stick to our game and we play the game that I know we're capable of playing, there's no doubt in my mind we can go in there and we can win that game. I've never seen anything, on paper where I'm thinking, wow, Illinois is just a juggernaut. They're going to destroy us. No, it's going to be a tough game, but I don't ever want to underestimate an opponent. But I think we've improved so much. It's almost shocking, to be honest with you. But anyway, listen, I don't want to hold it up any longer. I just wanted to jump in and give you a little support, man. I saw you on here solo, and I think the world of you. I love your shows, Ryan, and you enjoy the rest of your night and fight on, man.
You're the man, Paul. Appreciate you so much. All right, we'll talk soon. Fight on. Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right, love that, Paulie. Great stuff as always. We'll get this, man. I'm already at almost an hour. I was like, I'll jump on here solo, give it a quick 30 minutes. I love it though. Getting tons of interaction, tons of comments. So appreciate you, Trojan family. I mean this, and I'll just say this because I'll do a full recruiting video tomorrow. So anyone interested, I think we're, up against the time. So I'll just wrap this up here in a minute because I want to dive into kind of, some 40 recruits, guys, like some of these, and they're talking about their experience at the Collie and how it went. So I'll do a video tomorrow, kind of breaking that down and how it went. And, a lot of recruits trending. Obviously, it's going to be a smaller class in 27. But everyone I've talked to, it went fantastic. And obviously, it helps. The crowd, I think, was great. Obviously, the win, the way that the different position groups were playing and well. So I'll do something tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that to come out. But yeah, I mean, last thing I'll say that Paulie alluded to was this running back room that we haven't really talked about, at least on this show. And I think the underrated aspect of these two running backs, when you look at, and I'll talk a little bit about Brian Jackson. I've seen some comments in here about B-Jax. I think they're such different running backs, but the thing they have the same is like elite vision between the tackles. I mean, the way Waymo is able to kind of hit that hole and then just like cut on a dime, wherever it may be. Like, yeah, maybe he doesn't have Barry Sanders speed, but he kind of has Barry Sanders vision and elusive ability. And then when you look at Eli Sanders, who has the elite speed, but he'll kind of like Le'Veon Bell it, right? Like hit the line of scrimmage, kind of slow play it, and then just boom, hit that gap like a racehorse. And they bring such a different skill set, but such a similar vision in terms of what they're able to see, how the play is developing. So, I mean, it's as good as Woody Marks. Well, Woody Marks, I think, was fantastic, but just 1-2 punch, by far, this is the best 1-2 punch. And I wouldn't even say 1-2 punch. I'd say 1-1, 1A, 1B punch. It's been fantastic to see. So, yeah, Brian Jack, let me look back. I know you guys were talking about that. Obviously he's been injured. I think, I see some people saying like potentially would he transfer out? Eli Sanders is a redshirt senior, so this is his final year. Waymo can definitely be back. I have no reason to believe Brian Jackson wouldn't be back. Obviously, he's hurt right now, so that's why he has not played. Now, what his touches would look like being healthy, we only really saw him right week 1, and it was very limited. But I have no reason to. I think he loves SC. I've talked to him a couple times. I think he loves it here. Loves the room. He's like a total team guy. Every time I've talked to him and heard of him, he's like whatever the team. And I think guys say that, but it's very easy to tell when a guy kind of is saying that as like a institutional pros versus the guy that's their belief. And so he's talented enough, good enough to be a lead back, I think. But if he were to stay next year, him and Waymo 1-2 punch, I think is fantastic within Harry Dalton, King Miller, and obviously with this elite freshman class. So, but I won't speculate on that. I think, once he's back healthy, we'll see more of what that looks like. Slap Happy, I appreciate the try. Did not have to send this, but appreciate you as always for at least tuning in. We'll get you on another time. We'll try maybe actually with the phone line will be easier than having to use the computer. So apologies for whatever you were hearing, close down. I guess you had too many videos on or something, but appreciate you in the super chat. Thank you so much. Barry didn't have elite speed. I mean, I guess how you look at it. I mean, I think he had pretty elite speed. I don't know. Obviously, his eliteness was his quickness and his making people miss. Excuse me, but yeah. So anyway, I think we'll wrap this up unless anyone has a couple more questions. And yeah, I think great show. Appreciate you all. Talk Jayden Maiava. I think he's a true Heisman candidate. Looking fantastic. We'll see how this goes. Gave some injury updates and then just talked kind of, secondary and all this. So it's been a fun season so far. Like I said, I'll drop a video tomorrow on recruiting, big recruiting update. And then Madman or me are doing an Illinois preview. So really diving into this Luke Altmaier team, Yeah, thank you, Jeff. I think that's pretty elite speed. Barry was 4.37. I think he was pretty elite speed in my opinion. I mean, I think Barry Sanders was one of the arguably top 3 running back all time. And yes, Slap, I agree. Quick and fast are different. I think Barry was both. Some guys are like me. I was not a good football player, but I was quick. I was definitely not fast. I think Barry was both. Okay, so this Illinois team, we'll break it down. This is by far, in my opinion, the best Illinois team since the Juice Williams, Rashad Mendenhall days, way back when, back in the heydays in Champaign. So don't be dissuaded by their blowout loss. Like this feels like a trap game for USC. So USC is going to need to have their best in this. It's an away game, no matter what. We know how difficult those have been for this team. So we'll see kind of how this progresses, but we'll break that down tomorrow, have that out probably tomorrow evening for a preview of that. And then bright and early Saturday morning, 9 a.m. game kickoff, and we will be live directly after the game. Nice early kick. So we'll do our live, depending on time. What is that? 12:30, 1 o'clock or so. We'll be on here. Most likely myself, Tim, Madman, and maybe even Coach, maybe all 4 of us on here. So cannot wait. So thank you all for always hanging out, for bringing the juice, for bringing the comments, the question, the calls tonight. Really appreciate all of you so much for what you've done to help us build LAFB. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you have not. That helps us out. And if you want to help even more, become a member. You can become a member right here on the YouTube channel, or you can become a member on LAFBnetwork.com. 20% of your monthly membership we are donating to help youth sports initiatives in Los Angeles. So every month, 20% of that gets donated. So you're not only helping out support LAFB, you're going to help youth sports, something I'm passionate about, to kind of help hopefully here right in the LA area. So if you become a member, that's going to help. So you're helping twofold, and hopefully enjoying the content as well. There's other exclusive perks, merchandise stuff you can get in there as well. So if you're interested, check that out. But thank you all as always. Have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday evening. Have a fantastic Thursday. Like I said, we'll be back with multiple videos tomorrow and talk after the game on Saturday. As always, fight on.